We're here. We are here at the FAFO stage. This is really bad. And if you appreciate my content, please engage with this video. I'm just going to read this to you. Multiple Texas farms shut down after almost 100% of workforce vanishes overnight. In a stunningly swift overnight change, some Texas farm operations had to shut down after losing virtually all of their workforce, an exodus triggered by the increase in immigration raids and increased enforcement. The ripple effects of these raids are the gift that keeps on giving and will be felt nationwide. Unpicked crops are now left unharvested. Livestock were left untended, and rural economies are on edge. The story isn't just a tale of woe for Texas farms. It's a warning for American agribusiness, food prices, and communities that keep food on our plates. I need you to share this with every Republican you know. And you don't even need to wait for their response. They just need to know what's happening. And this is part of my line of work. I deal with commercial farmers, including these small farmers, as clients. And I cannot tell you how this is the beginning of the complete collapse of our economy under this Project 2025 administration that doesn't know what they're doing. You talk about the immediate shuttering of farms, because this is actually what's happening with the food, with the harvests that are lying there completely rotting. That is a loss of food to local food distributors, local grocery stores, local restaurants, hospitals. They sell their harvests, all sorts of vegetables, to businesses within the state of Texas. This is where you can go into your local grocery store, and now you're going to see hardly any vegetables or fruit, depending on what they're growing, or a shortage of meat. This is what's going to happen. Now, all of the other industries that support farming, you've got local pesticide, herbicide, fertilizer suppliers that are just, their sales are going to plummet. These farmers aren't going to be purchasing that. You've got H-2A workers who are now gone, migrant workers who are now gone. They were paying taxes. Even if they didn't have Social Security numbers, they were given tax numbers, tax ID numbers. So now you got millions of dollars just poof, gone overnight from these Texas communities. You've got trucking companies that are hired to haul the produce from the farms to the packaging plants. You've got packaging plants who wash the vegetables, grade the vegetables, pack the vegetables, whose sales are going to plummet. Now you're going to have other industries who don't employ either migrant workers or H-2A workers who are going to have layoffs. This is all under Republican leadership, not just from the White House, but from the Republicans that were elected in the state of Texas. And if you think this is going to stop at Texas, you've got another thing coming. And you want to know which farms are going to be impacted further down the road? They're going to be safe for now. There's a small percentage of farmers who are actually Democrats. And they understand how important it is to protect their employees, take care of their employees. Those employees who feel safe will keep showing up for work because they know the owners have their backs, which says something about these other farms where the employees are like, I'm too scared to show up. Let me add this final thing. This is going to impact farmers. They're at risk of going out of business. Who's going to jump in? The federal government to compensate them with our tax dollars. So now our tax dollars is going to be used to cover the bullshit leadership of this administration on top of the overwhelming increasing tax dollars being used by this administration to scare, to deport, to imprison people with brown skin. Like our tax dollars are not helping everyday Americans at all. And this is just the beginning under Republican leadership. Share this video.
This is 2 Ezra 16. I'm going to start at 37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, peace and salutations to the elect, and much respect to the brothers pushing this word to fall into the earth. And shalom to you few sincere sisters out there as well. This is Brother Ariyah coming at you with another lesson, a little quick cut here. And it's here now, man. We see it. You know, farmers ended up missing. I'm hearing ICE came through and snatched up Northern Kingdom, you know, or maybe the government offed a lot of the farmers. You know, the scriptures speak of there will be no man left to till the land, okay, to pick the fruits of their labor, okay. Well, we know that's going to happen when, you know, the wars happen here on American soil, you know, through the plagues of, you know, famine and sickness, okay, and just people dying, all right. But, yeah, we're seeing the beginnings of all of these things happening, and we're seeing the possible beginning of the great famine, okay. And we've been bringing these, you know, I've been doing lessons on this for a minute now, about the famine. Brothers been bringing it out constantly, and now we quite possibly here, man, where we may go into a store and there's really nothing in there, okay. The lady was speaking of there'll probably be hardly any meats in the store, okay, no chicken, no beef, no lamb, no none of that. And she said probably won't be a lot of fruits and vegetables either, okay. And it's making me think of, you know, how a couple of years back they were talking about making that 3D meat, you know, making the 3D meat, and of course the you know, the fake vegetables and fruits they're already putting out there without the seeds. You know, I think that's what the government is going to flood the stores with. And at the end of the day, that gives the body no nourishment at all, man. So it's like you're pretty much eating nothing, okay, because it's not giving the body what it needs to keep going, man. All right, so yeah, these plagues are definitely about to hit Babylon the Great on every side, man. Okay, with the sickness, with the plagues, okay, with the wars, with the sword, okay, blood in the streets. You know, all these things are coming here, man. Let's get Isaiah 9 and 19. Because it shows the desperation, or goes into the desperation that some people are going to face and going to end up having to do, man. All right. And I'm going to read 19 and 20. It says, through the wrath of the Lord, Yahweh of hosts, is the land darkened, and the people shall be as the fuel of the fire, and no man shall spare his brother. And he shall snatch on the right hand and be hungry, and he shall eat on the left hand, and they shall not be satisfied. They shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm. I mean, really think about that for a minute. You would definitely have to be in desperation mode to consider, you know, eating yourself, man, so that you can survive. And this is the type of situation a lot of people are about to find themselves in, man. Okay, those people that you know, the Lord didn't choose to follow him. All right, a lot of people are going to suffer this fate here when they're going to be put in a position where they're going to, you know, have to choose. Either you die, or, you know, you eat a part of your own body, man, or you eat your child. Okay, or you eat some, just like in the Book of Kings, they were eating dove's dung, which is bird shit. They were eating bird shit to survive. Okay, and when in that famine in Samaria. Okay, there's always been famines throughout the Bible, and like the scriptures say, there's nothing new under the sun, and we are about to experience um, a great famine in this lifetime, and we've never experienced it before, but we're all about to see it and experience it and see how gruesome and how bad it's going to get, man. It's going to get real bad out here, man. There's no food. You're going to really see people true colors then, man. Them demons are really going to come out then. Okay, them demons are definitely going to manifest through a lot of people when there's no food to partake of, man. It's going to get real gruesome out here, man. Let's get because every time I go into the famine, I would have went into 2 Kings 6:2, but I brought it out already. I mentioned it. We go to Lamentations 4:8 real quick. Okay, this is when the kingdom of Judah was in rule, and they were taken over by the Babylonian Empire, and they went into a famine as well. Okay, I started 8. I just read 8 and 9. It says here, their visage is blacker than a coal. They are not known in the streets. Right, their skin cleaveth to their bones. Right, showing these people were not eating, and they were like, walking around like human skeletons, if you will. Salakia, getting tongue tied a little bit. Okay, but this is a lot of people are going to have to face this fate here, man, where they're gonna have to die for the lack of bread, man. And that's serious, man. That's a horrible death. The scriptures say it's better for you to die by the sword than to die of famine, man. Okay? It says and it says it right here. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. So you sitting there with no food, feeling your body eat itself, man. That's a horrible death, a horrible, painful, slow death, man. And I mean, I've gone into this many times, but I mean, the scriptures say it's gonna come, so we teach it, and prophesy about it, and look, it's here. It's quite possibly here. I'm not gonna say it's here yet until I go into the grocery store and see it for myself. Well, there's really nothing to buy, and all we're gonna have is the Lord in that time. We ain't gonna have no one else. We don't have anyone with the Lord now, but most definitely in those times, man. Okay, if you have not made a connection with the Lord at all, you're gonna be left to yourself, man. Okay, and that's gonna be a horrible feeling in that time, because you're gonna wish that you had reconsidered and did the right things and prayed to the Lord to put the spirit on you to serve him. Okay, it's going to get real scary out here, man. All right, the scriptures speak of let me see, in the book of 2 Esdras 15. Okay, well, it speaks of people drinking their own blood and eating their own flesh. Okay, 2 Esdras 15 and I think 57. Let me see. 2 Esdras 15 and 57. Go all the way down here. Right, and this is speaking of the elites, man. Okay, that some of them in them bunkers. Because it says those will be in the mountains, I believe. Yep, 58. It says, "Thy children shall die of hunger, and thou shalt fall through the sword. Thy city shall be broken down, and all shall perish with the sword in the field. They that be in the mountains shall die of hunger, and eat their own flesh, and drink their own blood. Very hunger of bread and thirst of water." Crazy. Okay? So, that's crazy how the Lord is gonna have that play out right there. You like eating that bloody ass meat. Now you're gonna be so thirsty. I'm gonna make you so thirsty. You're gonna drink your own blood, man, and probably choke on it too. They that be in the mountains shall die of hunger and eat their own flesh and drink their own blood, for very hunger of bread and thirst of water. Okay, and that does not sound like a good time at all. Let's get Revelation 6, because that's definitely talking about them. Revelation 6 and 15 through 17, right, where it says, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens, right, in them bunkers, under the rocks, underground, and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, speaking of Yahushai, and from the wrath of the Lamb, okay? And this is definitely speaking of the time of destruction, when Yahushua comes on the earth to make war. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? All right, so some of them are going to be in the mountains. The Lord, they stockpiling food and things of that nature, but they not thinking like, the Lord can just make all that food spoil, and then you ain't got nothing. You ain't got no water. The Lord can, make the water spoil. He can make the food spoil so that you can't ingest it. So what you gonna do then? Just what I read in Second Esdras, the 15th chapter. Okay, they're gonna be eating their own flesh and drinking their own blood, man. So yeah, we definitely we coming into some real trying times, man. A lot is happening, and I seen Apostle Ramlad brought that lesson out today. The brother from Mississippi did too. They both, I believe, did lessons called "A Lot Is Happening." There's a lot that's happening right now, man. And this is just one of the many things that's happening right now. But this is very crucial because, if you can't eat, man, that's a matter of life and death. Okay, you can go without food for like 7 days, but let's say, the water is messed up and ain't nobody got no water. You can't go without water for more than 3 days, man. Okay, it reminds me of the book of I think it's the book of Judith, the 7th chapter, how the Moabites and the Edomites came together against the Israelites and thirsted them out, man. Took away their water supply so they would come out, from where they were, because they were high up in a mountain and they couldn't get up to them. So they tried to thirst them out so they can, get them out so they can kill them. Let me see if I can find that real quick. I believe it's Judith, the 7th chapter. I know I'm not bugging. Shall thirst kill them. Salaki, Spirit just brought that on me. Let me just look for it. I believe it's in this chapter. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, this, goes into the time where the Moabites and the Edomites were going against the Israelites. And like I said, the Israelites were up in like a high mountain. Okay. And it says, for all the inhabitants of Bethulia have their water thence, so shall thirst kill them, and they shall give up their city, and we and our people shall go up to the tops of the mountains that are near, and will camp upon them to watch that none go out of the city. Okay, so this is a tactic that they used against us in that time to get us out from where we were. Okay, so they cut off our water supply, man. And that's going to happen here in Babylon the Great too. The water supply is going to be taken, and of course the food supply is going to be taken, and there will be very little water left and very little food left. And at the end of the day, that's what sums up a famine. Very little of everything left for anyone to eat or drink. And that's what we're about to experience now here in Babylon the Great. Okay? It's coming soon, man. It's going to be a real serious time, man. But, trust in the Lord, man. The Lord got you. The Lord is going to do some miraculous things. So, We don't preach these things to scare you, even though, yeah, you should be afraid at the end of the day, but you fear the Lord, man. You don't fear the situations that may come before you. That's the difference. You fear the Lord, man. Okay? So yeah, the Lord got us in these times, man. You gotta be confident in that. You know, the Lord got you. He got us. You know, when there's no food, the Lord will make a way. When there's no water, the Lord will make a way. When there is no way, the Lord will make a way, man. And that's all, and that's it. So I just wanted to bring this lesson out real quick. Lord willing, it was edifying. I want to say shalom to the next one.